You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Tech Talk in 2022. In this episode, we are talking about tools or tech tools of the year. Today I'm joined by Paul, Cormac, and hopefully in a few minutes Will be with us as well. And I think he's just logging in actually now, so we've got Will with us as well. So good timing there, Will. Right. Okay, so before we go any further, first of all, this episode is sponsored by Eurosoft. So if you are looking for an easier way to diagnose that problem you're having with a computer without replacing every bit, then PC Check by Eurosoft may be the choice for you. You can test most parts in your computer in Windows or a UEFI environment, and you can even make your own scripts and run stress tests on new computers or repairs. They even have a secure hard drive eraser as well. So for all your diagnostic needs, head over to Eurosoft-UK.com, and I'll put the link up in chat at the moment for you there. So if you're interested, pop over and have a look, see what Eurosoft has to offer. Their PC Check programs is something we actually use ourselves, and no doubt it'll be talked about in this show at some point as well. Right, also, if you're watching, can you please comment and let us know you are actually watching? The chat does seem a little bit quiet at the moment, so if you can see us, hear us, let us know. Also say where you're viewing from, and we'll give you a shout out. So first of all, let's go over to the guys. Let's just reorganize everyone on the screen. So here we go. Sorry, Paul, putting you at the bottom. Right. Newest one's last. We'll do it that way. So right. So first of all, let's go to Cormac. So Cormac, if you want to If you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are and what you do. Please let us know.
Yeah, I'm Cormac from Crosshaven Computers in Ireland. Phil, I liked your intro there. It was very graphically. You're after upscaling it. Looks very good. Yeah, basically, I'm your man in Ireland. Anytime anyone wants to know about Ireland, I'm your man in Ireland. So that's basically all you need to know. Anything Irish, I'm your man. Oh yeah, first tech tip of the week before we even start. This Friday night or tomorrow night, I'm going to sit down. I'm booking my plane tickets to that beautiful city of Sheffield. But yeah, I'm going to book them. I'm going to book them early, so I'm ready. I'm going to be there. So book your tickets for Sheffield. TechMax.
That's it. You got the name right. There we go. Quick question for you, Cormac, about Ireland. I've heard that they're bringing a new maths way of doing maths into Ireland again. Apparently, they used to do it a few years ago. Is this true?
A new what?
New way of doing maths.
Maths.
So, yeah. Maths. So like 1 + 1.
I'm dying to hear the answer to this one.
Well, I heard that they were bringing back 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato.
Well, what are they doing? They're having discussions at a party at Downing Street to implement these cheese and wine event. It's been great fun watching all that unfold, unfortunately. Obviously, we're not politics on this show. We're neutral over here. We're neutral.
Well, that's it. Well, it's a bit like when Ben's on the show and he's always drinking cider when he's not actually drinking cider. Hint, hint. Apparently, it's a business meeting. So.
Yeah. Right. That's as much politics as we're going now. Let's keep it clean, lads.
Yeah, there we go. Right, okay, let's move on to Will then. So, Will, let us know who you are, what you do, and if you've got a tip for us for today or a story.
Hi folks, I'm Will from Consumer Tech in Dunfermline near Edinburgh. I'm the one that's giving Phil a headache tonight, but I'm glad I made it, and hopefully he's not had too much of a heart attack. Just some tech news tonight. I think this week or the end of last week, this week is the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I was lucky enough to go there myself in 2018, and if you ever get an opportunity to go, the actual show for techs and things like that is free to attend if you catch it. I think 3 months before it starts, you could register. It's absolutely out of this world, worth a visit. And I'll be watching it on Click or BBC Click. You'll get snippets from the CES show that's on there, and there's lots of things being released this year, whether it be graphics cards, new computers, electronics, drum kits, everything, you name it. I had a shot of everything when I was there, and it's go for it. If it's anything you ever do in your lifetime as a tech, go to the CES show in Vegas. Fantastic.
Yeah, I must admit that's on my list of things to do. Unfortunately, the last couple of years have been a little bit of a no-no. but yeah, definitely. I saw the thing with the car, what changes, it's got two-tone colour sort of thing. It'll help you if you have a bump in that and you've got to replace a panel. That'll cost you a fortune. But there we go. Right, let's move on to Paul next. So, Paul, if you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are. You are the newcomer of the day. And if you have got a tip or a story for us, let us know. And let us know who the tennis player is in the background.
Tennis player? Oh, God. Yeah. I'm Paul Webb. Vertical Crouch in Essex, years now. Come from the Basildon, Basildon or Bas Vegas, as it is also well known. Not a lot really quite interesting at the moment. My wife and kids have got COVID, so I've been stuck working from home. So I've had to rediscover new levels of tolerance, which has been quite fun. As for tips, I was a bit stuck earlier, so I decided to do a little bit of Google. I found a nice tech tip of the day. It says you can open up another instance of a program by pressing the Windows key and Shift and clicking the icon. There you go.
There you go. So that's a tip what a lot of people may not know. Nice one. Right. So before I go through my tips, let's just go through. So let's have a look. So we've got Alison from EADR saying, evening, Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year to you as well, Alison. We've got Rich Towers 4 from Phase 4 Computer saying hello from himself and Hayley. We've also got Facebook user, which is Dean Smart Computers from Bristol. So let me just put a link in chat if it's going to let me. Copy link address. Just bear with me 1 second, guys, and I'll post that there. If you click on that link, depending on which link you're looking on and so forth, or just type it into your browser, it'll allow your name to be shown. So there we go. Alison says, don't count your chickens, Cormac. I'm not sure in what regards that one was to. I missed that. But we've got John saying, evening all, and then you've got obviously me posting those links in the chat. And again, this show is sponsored by Eurosoft, so thank you Eurosoft for sponsoring the show. Without guys like you, we wouldn't be able to do events and shows like this, so thank you very much, Eurosoft. Right, okay, so let's have a look what we've got. So news-wise, obviously, you've had CES going off, as obviously Will's been mentioning and so forth. There isn't a huge amount what I've really found tech news-wise really out there. Obviously, Intel has brought out some new processors, the lower-end 12 series processors in the last couple of weeks, including an Intel Celeron CPU, which with a little bit of tweaking has better single-core performance than a i9-10900K from a couple of generations ago. So that's pretty interesting, that Celeron, which is basically a bit of a joke near enough, I think, to be honest with you, of a CPU, is able to perform better than a 2-year-old top-end processor. Again, that's single-core, not multi-core performance, though. Otherwise, in TechMax news, we have confirmed Ayama and Golive Computing. They'll both be joining us at the actual event and showing off their goods and services. Over the next few weeks, we'll be announcing some other really big names, or at least we should be, as long as they send us the details correctly, who will be attending as well. So keep tuned, because some of these names are really big names. If you're wanting tickets, especially evening tickets, get them booked ASAP. If you don't know what TechMax 2022 is, it is a trade event where Up to 500 attendees will be attending, so that's techs like yourself, and around 50 different vendors and distributors there as well. We're also having a networking evening meal with up to 180 guests as well, which looks like it will be a sellout. So that's pretty good news. Right, first of all, before we go on to our tech tips and tools and all your different bits and stuff, warning first is obviously use any tools at your own risk, and hopefully you know what you're doing, considering you're mostly techs. If you are not a tech and watching this, I would advise you take this to an independent retailer or repair shop to get your PC repaired just in case. So also, free programs for resellers as well. Just bear in mind, some free programs are not intended for commercial use. Not only does that mean you can't sell them, but it also means that you can't use them to make money doing repairs. Even though they probably can't police it 100%, it's always nice to pay the people who actually made the software you're using. So if there is a paid for or commercial version of the software, it's always best to go for that, even if it is a few quid more. Just a heads up there, just to cover all our backs. Right, okay, so let's just have a quick look. John says, I'd love to go to TechMax. Unfortunately, it's on the same weekend as Glastonbury. Maybe next time. Oh, you don't want to go to Glastonbury. It's only a load of old music and rubbish, stuff like that. And you want to go to TechMax. Right, okay.
We get Alison Cook there to sing a song.
Yeah, we'll get Alison there to sing the song. That'd be good.
Doesn't Steve have some musical instrument or partner? They could go do something there. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have like pianos and keyboards and all sorts in the background when we have shows with them.
Yeah, I know something about that. All right.
Right. Okay. So let's start off with the tips then. So let's go to Cormac first. So Cormac, if you tell us your first, just one tip. One tool.
One tip. Yeah, my tip is what we're going to do while he still can. This I advertised in our local town's Christmas supplement. Okay, and you're going to ask, what does this have to do with anything? There's an advertisement. Paid me 200 quid. Why did I advertise in the paper? Because I was doing a whole support local businesses, and I had to support local newspaper. But while I was reading through every business started around the place advertised, and while I was reading through it, I went to myself, oh my God, you know what I have here? I have a list of every business in the area and every telephone number and everything. I was just looking through and went, oh my God, I just got gold. So instead of trying to figure out everything, go out, dig out your old Christmas supplement. So what I'm going to do, because we now have a business developer manager that we just promoted Neve to business development manager. We got these, as I said before, wireless chargers. We're going to put we put our stickers on them. Now we're going to put a handwritten letter and 2 packets of sweets. And instead of getting brown envelopes, I have ordered blue padded envelopes, because you know the way brown envelopes come into post and people just, companies will just not take any notice. And we are going to send them out to all the local businesses from our business development manager. And something, it's a new form of way of trying to get into a business. We're not going to try to do any sale. We're just trying to know, hey, we're here just in case you want anything. And that's what they're going to get. They'll put these next to their computers, plug in, recharge their phones. Because email, send people emails or cold. I wouldn't ask people working for me. I wouldn't ask them to do cold calling. I wouldn't that. And emails, how many emails a day? And also, we don't want phone calls. So that's it. That's what we're doing. We're going to get blue envelopes. We're going to get those. And this is gold. Look out for it. Is there still your local areas? Christmas, Tillamajiggy, and off you go. And you got a list of everything, and you're not breaking any GDPR rules because it's out there. So that's what we're doing. We bought 100 of those. We'll send them out. The blue envelopes is the way to do it, though. Don't put them in brown envelopes. Everyone's getting brown envelopes. Blue envelopes. My tip of the week is blue envelopes.
There we go. So that's pretty good, Cormac. So if you hear about a explosion in the amount of people having obesity in Ireland, it's all down to Cormac. We're sending free sweets out to everyone. Okay. Yes. So you heard it here first. Right. Okay. Let's move over to Will then. So Will, what's your first tool of the day?
The first tool that I've been using, come across the last few months actually, is called Nintie.com. And basically, it's saves a bit of time when you're installing software. It's got a list of, say, maybe 25 to 30 different pieces of software, like Chrome. Yeah, there it's there. Perfect. Yeah, so in fact, it's got about 50 odd pieces of software that you can just tick the boxes. You go down the bottom and click on the link to download, and it downloads all the software that you tick, like antivirus software there. There's Chromebook, Opera. There's lots of software there that you would put on maybe a new computer, OpenOffice, etc., that you could put on a new computer to send out to clients, customers. One click downloads it and it installs it all on the computer for you rather than you doing it individually. So I come across that a few months ago. It's probably been out there for years and I'm just catching up. But yeah, it's a good tool to use to have in your weapon bag for saves a bit of time and things like that as well. So yeah, that's one of my tools.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it is a good tool. I must admit I've used it before. I think the Pro version as well, you can actually put it on a machine and it'll automatically update all the tools and keep them up to date as well and stuff like that. So yeah, it is pretty good program.
Called Chocolatey, I think. I've not quite mastered that one yet, though. It's a wee bit more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very similar. But yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good program. It saves a lot of time if you want to install numerous things rather than double-clicking an exe and then another one, and going through all the agreements and stuff. It just does it all. But yeah, very, very good tool. Right, okay, let's move over to Paul then. So, Paul, what's your first tool then?
Many, many moons ago, just slightly going off a little bit, when I was younger and I was learning to mix music, the guy that I kind of learned quite a lot of, he said to me, he said, watch other people. He said, you learn a lot from watching other people. And it just proves that being in groups like this and watching shows like this, you do pick up a lot and it does help you improve your own trade. It's an absolute godsend. But the one I'm going to start with first is something called Snappy Driver Installer, aka SDI. So what you do is you download the program and then you download the index, then you download the driver packs, you stick it on a USB stick, you plug it into the machine, it detects what drivers you need to install, you press a button and then it installs all the drivers for you.
That's the one, isn't it?
That's the one. So you download it and then you run it and then you download the index, which is quite tiny, it's about 16 meg, I think, or something like that. And then it refreshes. And then from that, it will tell you what drivers you need to install. You literally press a button, and then it installs all the drivers for you. Saves you hours doing reinstalls.
One thing I'd recommend where anyone who uses any tool like this is you do create a system restore point or something before if the program doesn't.
It has that feature built in where it will create a restore point for you.
Yeah, because I've seen drivers cause issues before, but yeah. So, but I must admit, I have used that tool. So yeah, very good tool to be honest with you. So yeah,
a good thing with that tool as well is you could use it offline. You can download the USB version and use it offline as well.
So you just update it once a week or once a month or whatever, and then you can obviously if you're having Wi-Fi issues or whatever and you can't get on the internet, you've got the offline installer. So that's a good program. Right, my first program, I'm going to actually make it multiple programs for my first one, which is not really something what you download. It's all built into Windows itself, and a lot of people don't use them a lot. So let me just get them on there, and these are usually my first point of call. Right, let me get the screen on. So bear with me, I'm on multiple screens, so if you see me looking to the left, that's why. Right, first thing is going to be Task Scheduler. That's a good thing to obviously check on any machine if you're having issues or not. It basically starts or runs scripts. You can find a lot of viruses, things are running in there what you don't really want to. For example, you don't want Google updating all the time and so forth without you doing it manually. You can stop all that in there, as well as obviously your usual startup list, what you can use. So Task Scheduler is easy to find. You just find it, basically you can just do a search for it. If you're not looking, just look for Task Scheduler. It's pretty straightforward. And you can even set up scheduled tasks in there as well. So if you wanted something to pop up on someone's machine every month or week, you can schedule tasks in there. So that's Task Scheduler. Next thing, which is ideal for finding reasons why you get crashing and stuff like that. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. 1 second. Let me just turn the chat window off. Okay, and full screen. Is this one here, which is Event Viewer. Again, it's not used a lot. People will use tools to find out stuff, but a lot of this information here basically tells you in Event Viewer, just under the System tab there, what's going wrong with the machine. If it's crashing, it'll usually tell you the machine's shut down unexpectedly, and then you just look at the information on the 2 or 3 things beforehand, and it will tell you what the issue is, if there's warnings and so forth. And you can a lot of times fix the issue just through Event Viewer. It's a very handy tool. And last but not least, let me just minimize that one and get the right one up, which is what we should be all having and using, is Task Manager, which is pretty straightforward. It shows you all the programs using. A lot of people's fails to check what things are running on the machine, or the things on there which shouldn't be running. This is what's running at the moment. This is on my machine. You can see the performance on there and everything as well, if it's performing right. So, for example, if your C drive was running constantly at 100%, you know there's something wrong. You should be able to track that down in the processes by just clicking on this and see what's using. And in a lot of cases, if it is running at 100%, a lot of people think it's a faulty hard drive. A lot of time it's a stuck Windows update or something along that line's what's causing the issue. But as you can see, Google Chrome is taking up a lot of memory on there, as you can see there. So you can see why Google Chrome gets a little bit of issues now and again. So let me just stop that screen. Here we go. There we go, back to normal. So there we go. So, right, okay, I've turned chat back on if anyone wants to use it. And let me just check chat. Okay, yeah, so just one thing. Dean Wood says, be careful with SDI, though. Can be a mare. Great tool, but does have issues. So, yeah, so always create that system restore point, or if it's really important, backup. Obviously, just in case there's any problems. Always best with any tools or any repairs, to be honest. When we bring stuff into our repair store, we back up everything on a person's computer before we do any work on it, just in case. Just in case. Right, let's go back to you, Cormac. What's your next one?
My next tool, my tech tool of the day, I've 4 or 5. I don't think we'll go through them all, but my tech tool of the day that I've started using this year is our sponsors, Emisoft, isn't it? No. Yeah,
No.
Emisoft, isn't it? What am I talking?
Eurosoft. Which one? Eurosoft or Emisoft?
Eurosoft, PC Checker.
Yeah.
PC Checker. Now, that tool costs, I don't know, around 300 quid, okay? So, it's, it's a cost of business, okay? Now, where I'm using it, we use it, like we used to charge 30 quid diagnostic, and we now charge 45 euro diagnostic, because it takes time to diagnose these machines. And also, but one of the things I like to run, and any refurbished laptops that we sell, I want them to look as professional as possible. So one of the main things that I love about that tool is that you can print off a report, okay? You can put your logo up the top there. I print off the first 3 pages, that's all I do. And then you have the past results there on all those, okay? You can have the past results. So we take that, or, to the top of the box. So that means that anyone's coming in, they're getting back their computer. It shows all the tests. It also shows, look, we're charging a diagnostic fee, which, like everyone else, is knocked off the price of the repair, but we'll say it can't be repaired, whatever. But there's a diagnostic report, which I think, now, if they're coming in paying 100, 150 quid for their computer or whatever within an SSD, it's handed back in the box. The box is €2 or whatever. So as I keep saying, it's like they're getting a present back. But next to our label on the front of the box is this. So there's a proper diagnostic report. It checks out all motherboards. It checks the whole computer. And I think myself, it's worth the money. Now my only issue so far is that I have now, and the issue is probably my end, because you only get 2 sticks with it. One where you can run Windows, the other one you can run in a pre-boot environment, and I haven't set up it to run properly in a pre-boot environment because it's taking too long. So I could do with another stick. Now the license is an extra 300 quid. I'm not ready to spend that yet on it. but maybe Phil can explain at some stage how to run. You can get reports both ways. But yeah, I think it's worth, if you're charging diagnostic fee, people want to see where the diagnostic fee is, and it's in the diagnostic report. I think it just looks very professional to hand back to people, you know?
Yeah, Eurosoft is a brilliant program. Okay, yes, they are the sponsor today, but the thing is they are actually a brilliant program, and we, as I said, we use them. You can see Cormac uses them as well, and we have reviewed the product in the past. We've got reviews on the YouTube channel. You can have a look at it. Just look for Tech for Techs and type in Eurosoft. You'll find them. But they do have 2 or 3 programs. The pre-boot one, which is the UEFI one, which you're on about, Cormac, is, yeah, you can do reports on that one as well. I think it saves it directly onto the pen if I'm right. And then you can basically open that up in a text document and so forth. If I'm right, I might be wrong, so don't take my word for this, but I think you can put your own logo and stuff in there as well. Probably as well.
And I was to just point out, they might be a sponsor of this show, they're not a sponsor of me, in the sense that this is my honest opinion on my tools. I no one's giving me money. This is sponsor, and it generally, I do feel it just looks really professional to hand back, especially if you're selling refurbished laptops, or there's a report, and if they come, it's worth. So yeah, we spent money. It's the first year using this tool, and we'll be using it again. We'll be renewing it and using it again.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it is a little bit costly compared to some things on the market. But then again, there's nothing what really does all the... Well, I think there might be 1 or 2 other places, but it does hell of a lot for its price is the best way of putting it. So so I would look into it. If you're not sure, have a look on our YouTube channel. Let us know in chat and I'll put some links on and so forth for you later. So you can have a look at the review we did before they sponsored us. So you can see my true thoughts there, which I do like the program. And with any sponsor, I wouldn't let anyone sponsor Tech for Techs if I didn't like the brand. So, for example, if Norton 360 come along and says, "Well, hey, we want to sponsor you," sorry, it ain't happening. Just a heads up there. So, sorry if any other brands or anything associated with them, but I'm not a fan of their program because it does bloat down a lot of systems. But anyway. Let's move on to Will before I get myself in trouble with Norton. What's your next tool?
I think just what Cormac was saying there about Eurosoft, also the support you get from them is really good as well. So I have to say that as well. The support is really good. My next website that I come across, you get many people asking, what is this with terminology of computers and things like that. So I come across a website called computerhope.com /jargon. And basically it's got anything you can think of about computer terms, words. It gives you a description of it. It's set up in an alphabetical order. So, say, for instance, people asking about solid state drives and things like that, you could go to S. It tells you what a solid state drive is. Scripts tells you what scripts are. It tells you anything you need to know about a computer, basically.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's nice.
About jargon, it just this computer terms dictionary and glossary. Yeah, as it says on the tin, it's very good for pointing people or taking links and copying them and sending the information to people rather than you typing it all out. It's quite a handy tool to use just for sending it on to people who's asking questions about what is this and what is that, different terms within the computer, and it cuts out the jargon that you're using as well. If you're just speaking to them on their own terms and speaking to customers like we should be doing anyway and cutting out the jargon and things, it just helps understand different things. But yeah, it's a useful website as well that I've come across.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. It saves you typing out to a customer and telling them it's this, that, and the other. You can just basically copy and paste from there or send them the link or whatever. That's pretty good, I must admit.
Works a treat.
Very
good for putting into I use Synchro MSP, and within Synchro MSP you can put canned response. So I've copied pasted a few links into there about SSDs, what is an SSD, how it's going to increase performance on your computer and things like that. So yeah, we'll catch up on that.
Nice one for that.
I'll try to do that. Yeah. So it does save a bit of time as well. Yeah, it's good.
Definitely good to know.
What I'm doing tomorrow now. Well, that's my day's work tomorrow. Send me that link. That's nice, man. Thanks.
So what I'll do after the show, guys, I'll try and put all the links in the chat at the bottom as well. So if anyone needs any of these tools, they can find the links as well easily. Right, let's go on to Paul then. So Paul, what's your next one?
I've got to sing the praises of old PC Check as well. It's an absolute godsend bit of software, to be honest with you. Absolute godsend. My next one is Hard Disk Sentinel, HD Sentinel, whatever you want to call it. To read the status of hard disks isn't always accurate. It can save you a lot of trouble. If you've got a really slow, I mean, you could go in there minutes, half hour, 40, 45 minutes, tweaking it, only to find out that the hard disk has failed. It was failing, and a couple of weeks later, it all goes up the spout. But what I normally do with HD Sentinel is the first I do when I do a repair is I run that, and then I see the status of the disk. If it's an SSD, it will give you the wear count, the wear level. If it's a normal, spinning platter hard disk, it'll give you obviously it will give you a kind of a marker. It'll give you a percentage out of 100 as to the drive's health. So anything below 100, that drive's on its way out. Weak sectors, bad sectors, whatever. So I normally run that before I do any repair because that saves me time in the long run. Because I'd rather not do a repair only to find out the hard disk has failed. But if I can find out the disk's failing beforehand, I can say to the customer, "This is why your computer's slow," or the main reason it's slow. Then you can either get them to get a new computer, or they can have a repair. Also, it's just good practice. If you can save people time and money, then it's worth doing. And as I say, you run it, it tells you the disk's failing, and away you go. Yeah. Happy days.
Yeah, pretty good HD or Hard Disk Sentinel, however you want to put it. Yeah, pretty good program to check out. There are quite a few similar ones out there. Let's just go to what this, Dean Wood says. Worth it with Zero alone. Pays for the software. For us, we charge if data wipe jobs need certification. Zero gives a great report. So that's obviously tying Zero in with Synchro. I think you can do it with Repair Shopper as well. I think it works very similar as well. So yeah, Zero is an accountancy program if anyone's not sure. So it's a pretty good program. I must admit, I do use that myself. Takes all your details from your bank automatically. You don't have to enter them in a spreadsheet or anything daft like that. It just takes everything out there, and you just say, yeah, this is to do with this, this is to do with this. It's a good accountancy program. It saves me a lot of time.
I think he's talking about Zero with PC Checker.
Yeah.
With PC Checker?
Am I right in saying that you use it to wipe disks? Dean?
Yeah.
The Zero wipe.
Now, Zero, everyone should be using Zero as well. So that's, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a different Zero. Yes. Okay. Yeah. The Zero wipe. I can't remember. Is it called Zero wipe or something along that lines? Isn't it?
Man.
So I'll find it in a minute.
But you were right about Zero. Everyone should be using Zero. So you were writing both accounts, Phil. All right.
Yeah. So there you go. Zero Data. That's the one. So yes, that is a good program. So yeah, you're getting me confused, Dean. I'll blame you for that one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let me go on to my next one. So let me get that on the screen next. So it sort of follows on from what was being said by Paul. So let me just get that on the screen. Here we go. So another tool what we use is Crystal Disk Mark, for example, which is here. You can see how fast the drive is actually running. You can do proper tests on it and so forth, which is a very good tool to use. So you can see, but they also do another program called Crystal Disk Info as well. We'll also tell you if there's any bad parts, it's where, how many times it's been turned on, how many times it's been booted and everything like that, how many hours. So you can see how much usage. It's also good to check. We generally do this when we repair a machine, is write down how many hours the hard drive's been used for. So when the customer brings it back in, let's just say a year's time, and says, oh, it's not worked since we had it back and we've not done it, we've not used it, you can see how many hours it actually has been used for. So you can actually, unless I've replaced the hard drive, which is unlikely, it's pretty good. So that's on, obviously, here, which is Crystal Disk Mark, which you can just go and test. And yes, that is 16 1,000 megabytes per second, if you were wondering. So someone's going to ask me, is how the hell did I get that? But how much? That much speed in a few minutes. What was that, Cormac?
That's a good tip about how much hours it's been used. That's good.
Yeah. Especially if you know you're going to have. It's one of those customers you just know is can be a problem. Let's put it that way. It's ideal because they can't turn around and say, no, I've only used it for 5 minutes, and then actually find out it's been used for 500 hours or 1,000 hours or whatever. It actually tells you, and you can see how many times it's been started as well, the actual machine powered up. So you can tell if they're making, saves you having to go through like internet histories and stuff, which you usually need to like get permission to do if you do. Right, so let's move on to Cormac again. So Cormac.
Yeah, well, we're obviously, there's no point talking about fabs or the backup because if you're not using it, you use it. So I won't waste my valuable picks with fabs because just build a statue to that guy. Fabs or the backup, just use it. So, Malwarebytes Tech Bench, a must-have tool. Again, that's around £300 mark, but you do get 25 licenses, which I'm going to stop with because I don't resell Malwarebytes anymore. But Malwarebytes, I've been using that since the beta days of it. And they support, if you anytime I had questions, I got on to Alex there at Malwarebytes, straight away he'll come back to you. We use that on every machine. The very first thing we do is two things: is fabs, backup, something. But very first thing I do is I put that stick into the machine and I'll scan for issues. That will pick up any hard drive issues. You know, if there's smart failures on it, that's it, finished. Not doing any more. Data backup, tell customer they need an SSD, that's it. What am I wasting my time on? If there's kind of three cleanup things, there's a virus scan, there's adware cleaner, there's junkware removal, you can do FFC scan now, you can do, it's just a range of stuff inside there. It saves so much time. I think you can put it on 10 USBs so that I have 4 or 5 of them around, so like you can have 4 or 5 computers going at once. It really is a must-have tool. Now people will say, what's the difference between that and we'll say PC Checker? PC Checker is for checking the hardware of the machine. This will only probably mostly check the hard drive, which is essential. In a sense, you want that test over and done with fast. Because if that fails, that test, there's no point me running a whole PC check. I'll run PC check once the hard drive is in the machine, and it's just excellent for cleaning up computers, saves you loads of time, must have, buy it. I feel strongly about it. Excellent tool.
Yeah, Malwarebytes tool set or tech bench, or whatever it's called, is actually a pretty good program. We do use that one as well ourselves. So it's sort of for hardware wise, it sort of picks up any known issues within Windows. So let's just say the event viewer and stuff like that. It reports it in an easy to say manner or way. It'll pick up smart hard drive issues. Obviously, you can do virus scans, get rid of stuff like Cormac says, and so forth. It's a very good tool. There's even 1 or 2 little bit of networking bits and bobs in there as well. Yeah. And you can add your own programs into it to make a big, massive package. So you can add, I think it's already got fabs in there, which we'll do a really mini thing about fabs in a second. But you can add fabs in there. You can add any other tools you want to use in there as well. So if you've got common tools,
if you have a license, you have to have a license key. Yeah, but that's which is fair enough because fabs is cheap as chips anyway. Like,
yeah, fabs is too cheap. I'm sorry to say it, but it is too cheap. It pays for itself in a job. And it's probably our most used thing. So let me just mention fabs for anyone who hasn't used it really quickly. Fabs is a program for transferring data or backing up data is probably the best way of doing it. His website probably isn't the best to see what it does in all honesty, but again, we have done a review of it in the past. Look it up, Fabs Auto Backup on YouTube. But basically, you can tell it to back up profiles, back up Outlook, and so forth, and it does it all in one go. puts it on an external hard drive or however you want to back it up on the network or whatever, and then basically you can then restore that data onto another new hard drive, or if you're having a new machine, you can copy all the customer's data. Bear in mind, it only copies sort of like usable data, not the whole program. So if you need to Microsoft Office, you need to reinstall Microsoft Office and stuff like that. It's not a cloning software. It's more of a grab all your details in your profile program. It's probably the best way of putting it. And the prices it charges for it, it's like so much stupid. I think it's like 50 quid or something, if that. It's very, very cheap. So I would advise anyone looks at that.
Will and Paul, you're using it, are you?
Yeah, I use it as well, and you've obviously got your TFT discount. No need for it though, because as you say, it's very, very cheap, but it's a well worthwhile program. Can't say enough about it. Good support as well.
Yeah, man, he answers straight away.
Yeah.
What's that, the Malwarebytes one? I'll be honest with you, I've not actually tried it yet.
Fabs.
Try go.
Fabs, I've not used Fabs either, no.
Oh no. Oh, if you're losing anything, forget all about the other information. Fabs is the program you have to use, and send us thank you notes for telling you about it. Because Fabs. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's the best 50 quid or whatever it is you'll spend. It saves time, effort, transferring data from one machine to another, or replacing drives and stuff like that. It's absolutely brilliant, to be honest with you. So, yeah, definitely. And a good point there by Will was something I was going to mention, but forgot to mention earlier, is a lot of these tools like Eurosoft, Malwarebytes, Fabs, and a few others we have got in the Tech for Text discount area. Unfortunately, unless you're a Tech for Tech member, you're not going to get to it. So if you want to know what it is, you should know in the group. It's pinned at the top of the page on the announcements. You may have to scroll down a couple of announcements, but you'll find the link there to the discount page. So if you're not sure, just post on here and I'll give it you after the show if you're in the Tech for Tech group. Okay, right. So we did Cormac, went back to me. So let's go to Will now then.
Okay, moving on from what Fabs can do and what if you're re-imaging a computer, is I've come across a website called Download Links. I think it's tb.rg. Phil will maybe put a link up here if he's got it. But it's a long website. But basically, it's got all the Microsoft software on it, from different Office downloads to different Windows batch downloads. And you drop down, you just select what year you want, and it downloads the software for you. So it's handy after you've done a new SSD and you've used Fabs to transfer all the data back on. If you're needing to get Office 2016 or 19 or whatever, it's there. You download the link, and then obviously use your activation code that you've got, and hopefully Fabs can pull that through as well. So I've used this website quite a few times. It's a bit of a strange name given that, but it's got the download links for there. I've not used every piece of download software on it, so I'm not sure how reliable it is, to be honest with you, but every version of Windows I've used to download or Office, it's worked. So it's a good tool as well. So that's my other website that I'd refer to. It's got different languages, quite fancy.
Yeah. That's pretty good because everything's in one, so it's easy to. I was having to play about with it when you sent the link earlier on, and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty much got most things on there, even Office 2007 for God's sake." So probably, I don't know if it goes any older than that.
You had having lots of discs and USBs about and things, so you could just download it if you got good internet.
That's pretty good. So there's quite a few different things on there. So even other products, don't know what that is. But you've got all your insider previews on there and so forth as well. So so even media feature packs. So there you go. So it gives you a rough idea. So that's pretty good. But obviously you do need your license keys, guys. Make sure you get genuine ones as well. Don't get these horrible eBay, Amazon ones and so forth, because they aren't official unless you get a code if you're a reseller, and the code has to be on a little sticker and you affixed to the PC. But there you go. So if you follow those rules, that's up to you. Right, to you, Paul. So what's your advice, Paul, or next tip, tool?
Back in the day, right back in the day, there used to be a bit of software called Look at LAN, right? And it used to show you what was on the network. Now, that software kind of disappeared because it became obsolete, but the people who made that brought out a bit of software called Fing, F-I-N-G, There's a version which you can use on your phone. I mean, I'm an Android user. It tells me if I go connect to a network, it tells me what's on that network. There's a version for Windows as well. But there's also another bit of software, slightly going off on a tangent, but the same subject, called Advanced IP Scanner. So you run this, you put in your IP range, you press go, and it tells you what machines are alive. And if you're a networking person, you're trying to find out exactly what's on your network, and you've got machines dropping on, dropping off, you've got networking issues. Absolute godsend. Use it regularly. That's the one. Yep. Absolute godsend bit of software.
Yeah.
I was actually using it yesterday at a client's house to get into the router and things like that as well. It gives you that.
It's great when you're doing Wi-Fi installs and
Yeah.
you're trying to find out what access points you've got on and what IPs and the host names. And, yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good, that is. Let's just go to chat again, guys. In chat, you guys who are watching, there's a few of you. I can see you a bit of a quiet tonight. But if there are any new tools or anything like that, what we should be aware of, because of stuff what we do miss, please make sure you mention them and so forth. Rich Towers 4 says, Malwarebytes tool bench is our main go-to for most jobs. Yeah, I must admit we do use that quite often, probably our second most used program, probably behind Eurosoft, and then probably after that Fabs is probably the most free used programs we use, mainly because we use Eurosoft on everything just to do a quick diagnostics before we work on anything, just to make sure there's no failing bits. But Malwarebytes, yeah, for scanning for viruses, malware obviously, and stuff like that. Dave Mason also says he uses that daily. I'm presuming he's on about the Thing or the Advanced IP Scanner. And Dean says, can you put the web address, please, for the web page? We'll just mention
the download link for the Microsoft software. Yeah.
Was it the Microsoft software?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I will put all the links afterwards. I'll put this one in for now for you, but I will put all the links after the show. So Advanced IP Scanner. So yeah, that was what Dave was talking about. Advanced IP Scanner he uses every day. So, but there you go. Right. Okay. So let's go back to Cormac then. So Cormac.
Right. I because I'm just watching time there because I left to finish at 9 there, lads, because I'm not since 5 this morning. So I'll come in.
That's fine. We'll start winding it up in 5 minutes.
No, I apologise. I had to bring my mom to hospital at 5 this morning, so I'm tired. I'm a tired little baby. What?
Oh, I hope she's all right.
I'm still in the game, lads. Now I want to say two here now, and two fast ones, all right? One, the other tool of the year that I've used is Cloud Dolphin. They're in this group for backups. Now, the reason, and I'm talking about Cloud Dolphin, we changed over to Cloud Dolphin. And one of the reasons, and because I'm bringing this in, because I like to use products from the group. I like to buy off people from the group, and I like to use products from people in the group. Because, for me, Tech for Techs is a trust-based network of people. And we're all watching your backs and all that. And even if I get a phone call, and actually the two gentlemen are here, Will and Paul have helped me out in the past as well. And there's kind of a great network. So if I when I was trying to decide what new cloud backup I was going to use, I went, you know what, I'm looking at the group first. Because I know that these people in this group will want to keep their reputation good and happy. And we have found this an excellent product. We really did. The support, again, is second to none. And I would strongly recommend it. It's the pricing of it is priced so well that you can break it up into whatever packages you want. You will make 10 times back what you paid for it a year. You can make whatever back. It's a great product, you know. So yeah, I'd be strongly recommending that. And again, to me, that has they stamp up the group as in, you know, it's Tech for Techs. We all trust each other in this group. I know Bill put up a post about that during the week, and it's a very, very important part of this group is the trust element of it. Yeah. That allows me to send over, I know, whatever, £3,000-4,000 to someone in England knowing that I will get laptops sent over, and that is vitally important. And that I did like that post, Phil. I did, because that's really important. And then the other one, the other tech tool I have been using this year, I switched to Antivirus, and I'm very, very impressed with Emisoft. I have it linked in with, I know Will come in on this one as well. I have it linked in with Synchro. We'll give you a nice tip to resell it. We'll keep that to ourselves a bit of it maybe, but that I'm making a nice bit of profit off that. And I will not sell an antivirus that I don't stand over. I don't want anything popping up. I don't want any special offers popping up. I don't want anything that's crypto mining my computer. I want a silent antivirus, and we can monitor it from our system. I am really impressed with this. It does not annoy people. It's business class antivirus. You can control it. I can put it onto computers and take it off computers from Synchro. It will also tell me, will say if computer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has threats. So, you know, if you have your business customers and you say, well, God, they got 6 threats there. There's something's going on. You know, the way with ransomware, they'd be prodding defense. Well, this should pick up some of the prodding of defense. So, yeah, I'm very impressed. He's in the group as well, I think. I can't pronounce his name, sorry. David, I think, is...
David or something like that.
Yeah, very nice guy who will again do a Zoom call and show you how to use it. And the resale value of it is the highest I have seen out of all the antivirus things. And again, the support for the group will do me for that one. So yeah, they're the tools that I feel very, very strongly about, you know.
Yeah, just touching on that one as well, Cormac. A lot of people's maybe not heard of Emisoft, but it actually uses the backbone of Bitdefender as well, which I just found out. So it's good, reputable company and good, reputable software as well. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I must admit, if I was looking for a new security vendor, they'd be the first place I'd be looking at. I mean, I'm impressed with some of the things they're doing, like the white labeling and stuff like that. Very impressive, to be honest with you. We hope to get them on the show in the near future. I've got to contact him again and maybe potentially be reviewing some more of their products or having a look. So.
The white labeling bit of it, I don't know. I haven't done it yet because I'm doing it through Synchro. Have you done the white labeling bit, your logo, Will?
Not sure you can do it through Synchro yet, but
yeah. The other way, you can still mix and match. So too busy, but that's fantastic to be able to have your brand. Like it's not like it's like you could have cross-ending computers on a computer, but it's not like invasive. It's kind of subtle, and it just adds an air of professionalism to it again. That this crowd is looking after us.
A nice user interface as well, so it's very professional looking. Yeah.
Well, as soon as you figure it out, send me instructions, and we go that way on that one. All right.
That's pretty good. Dave's asking what sort of reseller cost on that software. If you've got anything off the top of your head, Cormac or Will.
We buy it through Synchro, and it's only about I think $1 or something. So yeah, you get it. You know, it's
$1 a month or something.
Yeah, part of the package.
$1 a month per endpoint.
Yeah, so part of the package is Synchro, but it's
work it out there. That's what you have to pay for. We'll just say what we have to pay for the year. So work out what you want to sell it yourselves, and it's yours.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You can also buy it directly through them. I haven't got their pricing in front of me, but I remember reviewing it for a while ago, and it was a pretty good price. So the link for that...
I will say about that the way we're releasing it from Synchro, that does not give the customer the option to auto-renew. It does not give the customer. It does not pop up. That's why I don't send Malwarebytes, because you lose them to the customer. It's us who controls it. The customer does not get the option to auto-renew.
Yeah, AVG.
Also, Yeah, they force it on you. Just a quick one for Dave. Dave, if you post a message in the Tech for Tech group, I'll link in the guy who's in charge of it for you, and you can have a word with him if you want. He's a pretty nice guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I think Cormac and Will spoke to him in the past. Right, we're getting close to the end. So is there any last minute things anyone else needs to add in? So it looks like Will's got something. I know what that is.
My tool of the year. Fantastic. It's a IODD or IDO. Put all your ISO files onto it and plug it into your computer. Computer picks it up as a DVD drive or off the hard drive to install and run your ISO files rather than you having lots of USB sticks and things like that. It's only about £50 or £60. I put a solid state drive in it, so it runs really fast, but it's fantastic.
Can you link me to that?
Send some links on the group. I'll find it somewhere. I think.
Yeah, I linked
quite a
that.
few people's got them. They're absolutely fantastic. You just plug it in, switch the computer on, it boots straight away. There it's there. It boots straight away from the device, and you're good to go. I've got about maybe 20 ISO files on it, all different Windows, Linux, everything on it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice.
You have any problems with it?
And I'll put that in chat. Sorry for using Amazon, guys. It's just the thing what came up. So I've just put a standard link in. It's not an affiliate link, so I'm not making any money off of this or any of the other links what have been on this show. Nothing is affiliated linked at all. Even the stuff in the discount area is not affiliate links. The only sponsor we've got for this show tonight is Eurosoft. So just to give you a rough idea. Okay, so anything else you would like to add on, Paul?
I've actually got a couple, but I can only obviously do one. But probably the other big godsend is tree size, or tree size free as I use. So if you've got a user with a disk that's really full up, or a user profile that's really full up, or even a server where you need to trim some space down, you can run that and it tells you what folders are using what place, so you can kill them. Absolute great bit of software. The other thing I was going to mention as well is I've got a PowerShell script called Windows 10 Debloater, which debloats Windows, and also WinAero Tweaker, which I thought was quite handy because I use that to disable Cortana and a few other little bits which speeds up the GUI, Windows GUI. They work well for me.
Okay, that's pretty good. And I'll add in on top of that one, you've also got the Ultimate Performance mode, is it? Ultimate Performance? Yeah. Mode, there's also, you can easily find it on Google. Just paste it into CMD or PowerShell, and it'll give you the option to put an Ultimate Performance mode on, which basically makes the machine respond a little bit better. But bear in mind, it will reduce battery power. That's one thing to bear in mind. Right, guys, we're pretty much at the end. Do you guys have anything you really need to say before we finish off? No. Right, let me just go through this again just to let you know today Eurosoft has sponsored the show, as we've said. So they are the developers of PC Check Diagnostic Suite. So many of the Tech for Tech members actually use. For example, I think, did everyone here use it? I think near enough everyone's used it here. So developers of the PC Check, there's thousands of ways to test your PC you're responsible for. So you can PC Check Diagnostic Suite offers you 3 ways easily diagnose hardware faults using either UEFI access, legacy pre-boot, and Microsoft Windows PE and Windows operation, which basically means you can pre-boot with offer a disk, or you can do it within Windows environment. When you build new PCs, resell, repair, refurbish, and stuff like that. So the PC Check Diagnostic Suite gives you hardware test results over tools, and obviously you can save the reports and stuff like that as well. And Eurosoft is actually giving us a tip of the year as well. Take time to test, record your results. Proof of service shows beforehand and after results while ensuring you've done your job. So yeah, basically record everything you do, and then when someone comes back to you and say you didn't do anything, you've got test results what say you actually did, gives you the full specification of the machine and so forth. So again, thank you Eurosoft for sponsoring this show and making it possible. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. We do have another show next week, next week's show, and I've completely forgot what it is, so you'll have to forgive me. I do know, but I've completely forgot. we did make a post about it the other day, but we will be back next Thursday, and I do have the show name. It's Tips of the Trade. So we've got room as well for free guests. If anyone's interested in joining, just let me know. And the week after, we've also got Make Me More Money. So that's going to be an interesting one, because obviously, well, who doesn't want more money? If you say no, I don't believe you unless you're a charity. Right, okay, so everyone, I'll say good night. Thank you for watching. If I've missed anyone's chat, do apologise. If you are interested in joining Tech for Techs, make sure you click on the link, or, well, I should say the link, read what it says on the screen, which is www.techfortechs.co.uk/join, and make sure you fill in the questions when it prompts you and asks you for the questions. So sorry, Pure Rad, sorry for missing the end, the most of the show. But once it's finished, you'll be able to watch it all the way from the beginning again, and watch it whenever you want. So thanks again for watching, and good night, everyone. Goodbye.
Slow on that from Ireland. Yeah.